Welcome to part 5 of my Miraculous Redesign series with the character I honestly should have done a while ago, Hawkmoth. The reason why it took me so long to get to him is because I didn't have many ideas, and the few I did have upon further inspection had already been done, so it took me a while to get a solid idea, but as you can see, I got there eventually. And I do really like what I came up with. I like the fact that I focused the butterfly pattern on the, I don't know what you would call it, cloak, I guess? I don't know. And the tailcoats of the, I don't want to call it a suit because it's not a suit, but the tailcoats. As you will see at the end, I thought I changed his color palette more than I did because I accidentally followed his original color palette almost exactly, which I'm not mad about. I like his color palette. The color palette they went with is nice, it's interesting, I like it. However, the design is just a no. Anyway, now that I got most of the chit chat about the design, for right now at least, out of the way, I need to talk about his character. As both Hawkmoth and Gabriel abreast, he's pathetic. He is a pathetic excuse for a villain, he's a pathetic excuse for a father, and he is just not well written. As Gabriel, it's like the writers couldn't decide whether or not they wanted him to be in mourning, which is fine, perfectly excusable, or straight up abusive and neglectful. They could not decide what they wanted to do with him. I feel like they were like, okay, this is our main villain, but he's also the father of our main male protagonist. Just do whatever. I think they played him better in the movie. But then it's Hawkmoth, you have this guy who's in his 30s, 40s, most likely 50-year-old guy that has beef with 2 teenagers. Now that is giving the benefit of the doubt of him knowing that they're teenagers, which I don't think he does. He might. But either way, it's still pathetic. Especially when you remember that every episode, with the exception of a handful here and there, is the same spiel of, I'm giving you the power of blah blah blah, in return you must get me Ladybug and Cat Noir's Miraculous, and at the end of the episode, you have thwarted my plan once again, Ladybug and Cat Noir. You would think by season 3 he would have come up with a new plan. Which, okay, I mean, he kinda did, he got Natalie involved, but aside from that, it's still the same thing. And then the only reason why he got the other Miraculous was because of Felix. So, yeah, he was kind of an idiot. But at least we knew his motives, or at least thought we knew his motives, because apparently his motives changed at the last minute. But whatever, we still knew his motives. Unlike our new Hawkmoth, or whatever people are calling Lila's Hawkmoth. I think I've seen people calling her Chrysalis, which I like that name. I hope they go with that. Anyway, we don't know her motives. But knowing Lila, it probably has something to do with revenge, but it could be literally anything. Anyway, let's get into how I'm considering, because I'm still kind of on the fence on this, how I'm rewriting Gabriel. Starting with the man behind the mask, Gabriel Agreste. Now, he wasn't around a lot during Adrian's youth, but he was more than he is now. Since Emily's passing, he's pretty much drowned himself in his work and barely ever leaves his office. Adrian is still his primary model and is expected to keep up the look of the brand, whatever that is. But as for Hawkmoth, I want to make him more menacing. Because Hawkmoth is not menacing. He's just some guy that hides in an attic and frickin' preys on the depressed. He is not a very menacing guy. But, so, Akumas are still his main way of trying to get the Miraculous. However, he's also not afraid to get his hands dirty and do it himself if he thinks he needs to. Especially after season 1. Now, again, none of this is set in stone. This, especially, is just a concept idea. So things are subject to change, especially as I get deeper into this rewrite. So we'll see. It's actually, at this point, I'm showing a part of the process that I don't normally show, and that is me using colored pencil to add some depth, some shadow, and just, like, trying to, like, do some, like, finishing on the piece, even though this is still nowhere near done. And this is where I say, I know this video is long, it's over 7 minutes. I cut down as much of the footage as I could while still showing what I wanted to show, because this is a very detailed piece. So thank you for making it this far. I appreciate you. In other news, I've had a spoiler warning up this whole time. However, from this point on, heavy Season 6 spoilers. Leave if you don't want the first 5 episodes spoiled. Okay, are they gone? Cool. I am officially caught up from the first episode that aired, The Illustrator, up to Where Papa's. Even though the episode's not dubbed yet, I watched it in sub. I will be watching it again, though, once the dub comes out for compare and contrast purposes. However, I'm enjoying it so far. I've already talked about how I don't hate the new animation style. In fact, I quite like the new animation style. I briefly talked about the new Hawkmoth / Chrysalis / whatever they're gonna end up being called. But what I really kind of want to talk about is Season 6 episode, what at the moment is 5, but I think is actually meant to be like 6 or 7, Where Papa's. And how the heck are those Gabriel's parents? Like, I know after Season 5, we're technically in, like, a whole new universe or whatever the heck is going on there. But, like, when he reset the universe, did he rewrite his own backstory? Because how did 2 people that are pretty much a Narca in a different font have Gabriel? That's what I'm trying to figure out. I don't know, hopefully they'll elaborate sometime later on. I have heard people say that he became the way he did, though, to stay on his father-in-law's good side. Which honestly makes sense. Anyway, we're coming up on the final product, and I'm not a huge fan of the face.